Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Financial News. I'm Ron Jankowski with Channel 4. My co-host is Paul Munico from Ameriprise. Today is May 10th, 2022. Paul, give us an update of what took place last week. And when you're finished, I'll give you, as of this morning's news that I received from Ameriprise also.
Great. Thanks, Ron. I'm going to hit on earnings again today. With all the negativity that we're all aware of, let's focus on something a little bit better, and that's earnings. We do have 90% of the companies have reported, and the S&P 500 earnings per share, they're up about 9% in Q1. Now, corporate earnings are still doing well, despite the year-to-date market drawdown. Through Monday, 449, or about 89% of the S&P 500 companies had reported their financial results for the first quarter of the year. Currently, the blended growth rate, and that's just actuals for those that have reported combined with estimates for the remainder, that's the blended growth rate. For Q1 earnings per share now stands at 9.2% on sales growth of 13.4%. At the end of Q1, April 4th, consensus estimates were looking for year-over-year earnings per share growth of 5% on revenue growth of 11%. Additionally, according to FactSet, S&P 500 earnings per share growth is positive or plus 12%, with Amazon alone excluded from the calculation. Through April 29th, 80% of reports showed better than expected earnings per share, while 72% reported better than expected revenues. Both figures are well ahead of historical averages. Looking over the last 5 years, an average of 77% of companies reported better than expected earnings per share, while 72% reported better than expected earnings per share over the last 10 years. That's all on average, and most of that data according to FactSet. Revenue outperformance, meanwhile, has averaged 69% over the last 5 years and 61% over the last 10. It is unusual to see sales growth so much stronger than the earnings per share expansion, but this largely reflects higher input costs and higher loan loss revenues in the financial sector. But in the current circumstances, forward sales and earnings expectations are likely just as or even more important than the reported results. And through Monday, full year 2022 EPS estimates are 63 cents higher since April 4th. But again, largely due to Q1's outperformance. Estimates for Q2 have come down by about 35 cents, which is the normal pattern for any given earnings release season. But estimates for Q3 and Q4 have gone up by a combined 29 cents. So a lot of data there, a lot of numbers and information, but it's one thing. I tried to give a positive spin to all the negativity that's going on out there, and that data is coming in relatively well for the most part for Q1.
And starting today, the news is the U.S. futures are pointing to a positive open. And European markets are trading higher at midday. All good, positive stuff. Asian equity markets finished mixed, and more declines could be in store for the S&P 500. That's all part of what we're going through.
That's all part of it. I mean, it's been a rough year, a rough month for the market. So it's understandable that you get some days that at least start out or expected to start out positive. But I think you just reported it. The S&P could be heading lower.
Yep.
Who knows? But that's something to watch out for.
But once a trough is reached, returns tend to be solid, though.
Yeah. So once we hit the trough, that bottom of the down cycle, we're hoping that the market recovers somewhat quickly.
And the 10-year Treasury yields are at 3.01%.
They've been holding around 3% lately.
Yeah,
That's nothing.
yeah, they're holding. Their West Texas Intermediate WTI crude oil is trading at unbelievable $101 now a barrel. and gold is trading at $1,858. And here is the report as of this morning, Paul. We have from Ameriprise Financial, U.S. futures are pointing to a positive open, and hopefully that's going to continue.
Futures are what's expected to happen. It's not what's guaranteed to happen, but I'll take any sign of positivity right now.
And the European markets are trading higher at midday, so that's a good
That's
sign.
actual. That is a good sign. Yeah.
Asian equity markets finished mixed, and more declines could be in store for the S&P 500, which anything could happen at this point.
Anything can happen in a forecast like that. Yes,
Yeah.
you never know what could happen, but it looks like potentially there could be more declines.
And of course, the other thing that they mention here, but once a trough is reached, returns tend to be solid. So there's a history of that.
There's history of that. Eventually, the market stops going down, and then usually we rally out of that. But when that comes, unfortunately, I cannot tell you.
And the 10-year Treasury yield is still at 3%, and that's been holding.
It's been pretty steady, holding there for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
West Texas Intermediate WTI crude is trading at $101 a barrel, and that's keeping the gasoline pump at a higher rate.
Yep.
And of course, gold is trading at $1,858. Thanks for your report, Paul, and for what happened last week. And we are going to switch to our show called Your Money. Stay with us, and we'll be right back. And thank you for staying with us. We are back with our show called Your Money. Paul always has an interesting topic, and today is going to be talking about your health savings account and how you possibly should use that as a retirement tool. And Paul, I'm going to let you take it from there.
Thanks, Ron. Let's actually pick it up literally right there. So if you're retired, one of the biggest expenses you may be confronted with on a regular basis is healthcare. Now, even if you're enrolled in Medicare, you may need to pay various medical costs, out of pocket and in general. Costs are going up, not down. Unfortunately, fortunately, guys, there are tools that can help make these expenses more manageable. One of which may be a health savings account, or more commonly referred to as an HSA. If an HSA is available to you, you may want to explore its potential benefits. So here's a primer. A targeted tax advantage savings tool, HSAs are savings plans associated with high deductible, high insurance policies. Many employers offer the option of choosing such a policy, but if you're retired, it may be alternatively, it may be available to you if you purchase that type of individual coverage. Now, HSAs are funded with pre-tax dollars. For those still working, this can be done through payroll deductions. That's deductions made before income tax withholding is calculated on each paycheck. Otherwise, it can be done through tax-deductible contributions. Money in the account can be invested and grow on a tax-deferred basis. If funds are used to pay for qualifying medical expenses, they can be withdrawn with no federal taxes due, and in most cases, no state taxes as well. But as always, anytime we talk about tax deductibility or tax write-offs or how things are taxed, you always need to check with your tax advisor to find out what specific rules may apply in your case. For this year, 2022, you can make contributions into the amount of $3,650 in an HSA, $4,650 for an individual age 55 or older. A couple can contribute up to $7,300 per year, or $9,300 if both are age 55 and over. A flexible account for retirees, any dollars remaining in your HSA can usually continue to accumulate in your account and usually be available to help offset medical expenses in retirement. At that time, you can potentially withdraw dollars from your HSA on a tax-free basis to meet expenses such as Medicare premiums, health insurance deductibles, dental, vision, and hearing care. A portion of premiums for tax-qualified long-term care insurance. Other out-of-pocket medical expenses can be potentially used for that money as well. When it's all said and done, good planning makes the difference. You can participate in an HSA prior to age 65, the age at which you qualify to enroll in Medicare. While saving in the plan, you may want to try to retain as many assets as you can in the HSA in order to take full advantage of it as a retirement savings vehicle. Again, talk with your financial advisor and your tax advisor to learn more about how HSAs can be incorporated into your comprehensive plan for retirement. It can work in your benefit, but everyone, as we always say, is specific. So to find out if it's right for you, you got to consult with your tax and financial advisor.
And if they do not have one and they would like to ask a question, can they call you?
Absolutely. They can call me direct at 708-226-3412.
All right, thank you, Paul. For Paul Municle from Ameriprise Financial, myself, Ron Jankowski with Channel 4, we wish you good investment day.